What's up, guys? Coming to you from the Tortoise Barn, the Sulcata Tortoise Barn, to be exact. It's been a minute since we've done a video, so we wanted to get one out to you guys. It's getting a little colder here in the western North Carolina part of the country that we live in, so it's time to bring in a lot of the animals that have been outside all summer. As you can see, I am getting pretty woolly, so I need to pay my sister a visit. Anywho, enough of that. We actually had a lot of people ask what we do with the sulcatas in the wintertime. Some of the previous videos we took a look at the barn. So I'm actually going to show you guys the barn today and some of the things that I've done to set everything up for these guys. They'll be here in the barn till probably April of next year. So without further ado, let me show you some of the things that we have done to get these guys all set up. In the wintertime, since these guys can't get out as much as they do in the summer and have direct sunlight all year round, we have to supplement their lighting. We do this with some UVB bulbs, the 4 foot. I'll actually show you what I've got here. This is the Reptiles, the 10.0 Desert Terrarium lamps. I got 2 of those. This setup is on 12 hours a day. We actually got a visitor coming back in to see what I'm doing, making sure I'm putting everything right for him for the winter time. Who am I lying? He's actually just here for the cactus. Side note, this is one of the supplemental foods that we feed in the wintertime. These are plenty of cactus. It's the genus of these guys. There's several different species. Some of them come without spines. This one actually does have spines, so I do these guys a little bit of a favor and trim the spines off. But they love the cactus pads. They're really high in calcium, really good for your tortoises, any species that you want to feed them to. These guys are pigs, but we'll supplement a little more heavily in the wintertime since they can't get out on fresh grass in the dead of winter. They still have access to the outside. They can go several hours a day. They can go out as long as it's over 60 degrees and it's not raining. These guys can tolerate a little bit cooler temperatures, in the low 60s, but if you throw rain in the mix, it's a recipe for a respiratory infection. And you don't want to have to deal with that. That's expensive and it takes a while for these guys to get over it. It's just best to avoid that. Anywho, back to what I was talking about with the setup. I got this on a 12-hour timer, so we're 12 hours on, 12 hours off. These emit UVA, UVB, so we can make sure these guys are not developing any metabolic bone disease or anything like that. So they're still going to have access to the outside where they can get natural sunlight as well. These are the heaters that we use in the wintertime. We don't keep them on all the time. Obviously right now it's still getting pretty warm during the day. And they come on at our, we actually have them plugged in at night. We have another visitor coming in from the outside. So when we get into December, January, these guys will be on all the time. I also installed a camera. These are the little Ys, they're very expensive, maybe 20 bucks. So I can keep an eye on these guys. We have them on the crocodile enclosure, the Aldabra, and then I put one in here. That's just in case, you know, I'm not up here at the tortoise barn. I can, you know, just check in and make sure the lights are on, the heaters are working, nobody's gotten flipped over. Yeah, anything like that. So, had another visitor come in. A lot of people ask me if I can tell these guys apart. I can. I've worked with them so much and had these guys, this, you know, particular group for so long that I can tell them apart. This is Dolly. This is Theodore. Want to know if this camera is something to eat? Definitely not. He's going to move on to the cactus. We have Alvin, Simon, Theodore, so we have a chipmunk group of sulcata tortoises. We have Dolly Picasso. We have Timothy, Daisy, who has you've probably seen her in the previous videos. She's pretty lumpy. We could have called her lumpy, but she was not kept in the best conditions, you know, as she grew up and matured. And so she has some metabolic bone disease, some, you know, some pyramiding of the shell. That's something that we try to keep to a minimum. But one of the, you know, definitely one of the challenges of these guys is to keep them indoors. If you have to keep them indoors all the time, I would definitely not recommend this species. They're massive and they require a ton of food. They're pretty much like cows. They eat and poop all the time. So all this fresh straw that I put down will have to be changed pretty frequently. I have to come in and rake it all out. Just keep everything fresh. And to fill up their water dish, scrub that out. Keep a couple water dishes in here also. You definitely want to look for the cactus. But all this cactus will be gone. Just kind of put it around, you know, the barn and let them decide what they want to eat. And then they can go back outside and eat the fresh grass. But anyway, like I was saying, these guys are hard to keep in the wintertime if you don't have adequate space to keep them. Saying hi to everybody. And then YouTube land, he may ram us. These guys definitely like to ram. I think he's just going to smell us today, though. So that's one of the challenges of keeping these guys is to keep them, you know, where they can have UVB, they can have the space, they can have the heat, and then you can also supplement it with them going outside during the wintertime. So that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will, you know, be glad to answer them. We'll be doing a video next week of we're actually getting a greenhouse in. I lost my words there for a second. We're getting a greenhouse in. Next week it's a smaller greenhouse. It's I believe a 10 by 14 that we're going to set these guys, not these guys, the Aldabra, the Redfoots up in. So we want to, you know, make sure that everything is good for them out there. This is kind of an experiment this year to see how a greenhouse will work in the wintertime. We're going to do some heating, passive heating with some drums of water in there. We're also going to insulate the outside with some of the clear bubble wrap so the sunlight can still get in. We're just going to see how that works out. I'm going to put a camera in there too so we can, you know, take a look at what they're doing during the day and make sure the temperatures are staying up at night. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Here's some shots of sulcatas, what you guys definitely want to see.